One of these days, I'm gonna end up decking Bright. One of these days, I'm gonna end up decking Bright. One of these days, I'm gonna end up decking Bright.
I'll open the hatch and toss you out of the ship.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gundam.
What are we talking about today, Ferbus?
Welcome back to Gundam Boys, everybody. We're talking about Gundam GQuuuuuX, aka
Yes.
GQuuuuuX, but it's not
Or
GQuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuX?
It's GQuuuuuX.
It depends on what
To
you're
everyone
listening
who
to.
said GQuuuuuX,
F
GQuuuuuX
you.
yourself out of here.
Oh my god.
Wrong.
We are joined here today by our wonderful friend, Kentaro. You have seen him in such iconic things as our comment section.
Mm-hmm.
He is a longtime friend of ours. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kentaro, or Kentaro Multi on the internet. I like Kamen Rider and Gundam and all kinds of stuff.
Yes. And we love G-Quack.
GQuuuuuX.
G-Glook. Okay.
So,
Shall we begin?
just right off the bat, spoiler warning for GQuuuuuX episode 1. We are
Yeah.
not talking about anything that happens in GQ. I keep saying GQuuuuuX. That's what I'm used to.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm used to that. People know what I'm talking about.
The movie version, we're not talking about it. The beginning segment, we're not going to talk about it. We're not
Yeah.
going to talk about episode 2 or 3, which is in that movie. We're only focusing in on the first episode.
Yes.
And this will be the first of hopefully a weekly thing where we go through and talk about
Keep up with
series.
GQuuuuuX. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Imagine
for that.
missing out. Imagine missing out on GQuuuuuX's beginning. Couldn't be me. It was me. I couldn't see it.
Loser.
Loser.
Anyways.
So I guess we'll just run through this in chronology of how the episode plays out, and we'll give our
Yeah.
thoughts and theory crafting and our ideas.
I know we said not talk about the movie, but hello
Oh, dear.
everybody that's tuning into the show. Welcome to the halfway point of GQuuuuuX, the beginning.
Yeah, because so basically it's called GQuuuuuX the beginning, but
Yeah.
there are two parts. There's the beginning, which is like 30-40 minutes of just like
All you see stuff.
it's like a fan fiction of alt UC. And
Yeah.
then there's GQuuuuuX, the main
Yeah.
story of the show. And it looks like we're going to get an abbreviated version of the beginning story in episode
For
2.
episode 2. Or it might
Which-
be the full thing. I don't know. See, I don't know how I feel about that. Because I was talking about it with Ferbus on the phone. I was in the market of the beginning segment should have been released as an episode 0.
Mm.
But if they find a way to incorporate it into the show, I'll be like, okay, fine.
Yeah, hopefully it's just done well.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of talking about this off the recording, and it's both really important to contextualize everything that's happening in this world, but also not.
Mm.
I'm of the market that says it is. Kentaro here hasn't seen it because he hasn't seen the movie.
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, Kentaro, I'm interested in your perspective on this because I know you knew about some things for the beginning segment, but overall, how were you interpreting the events within this first episode?
I find it to be like a like a really intriguing like hook into the story and where they're gonna take things. I know this isn't like the first alternate universal century story, but it's like I like that they give you like a preview of what this timeline is like and like getting you engaged into these new characters alongside returning characters from original Gundam and stuff like that. I just feel like it's such an interesting mix, and even if I haven't seen beginning yet, it's not like a necessary requirement for me in order to like get into the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I would somewhat agree. I only say this because like I knew what's going on because I already saw the movie and have I have already seen this episode. But let's talk about this episode exclusively. Ferbus.
The first thing you're greeted to in this one, in contrast to the movie,
Spoiler warning.
is some customized Zaku.
Yeah.
It starts with the mono eye popping up, and then these two planned battle brawlers are in a brawl. I
Yeah.
like the tiny little details in the more customized gray and yellow one. Like there's
Yeah.
tires on his shoulder to help with collision to like soften the impact. You could tell that like different joints are different. Like one is just like a stock Zaku, one is like heavily modified and like parts are changed or welded on.
Yeah.
Because this is a world where civilians can buy mobile suits
And modify them. Yeah.
and we get a lot of customs, which is
I-
going to be very interesting throughout the show to
Yeah.
see who they battle.
I liked the term they used in the because for context, me, Kentaro, and Ferbus both saw the sub and the dub of
And the dub was
this first
really
episode.
good.
Yes, I thought the dub was
Yes.
fantastic, and they used a very funny term that I really liked. That I think kind of describes the way a lot of these Zaku's in these clan bat mobile suits look. Junk punk.
Mm-hmm.
I like
You
that a
damn
lot.
junk punks.
Yeah, you damn junk punk. I really like because we have visuals on the screen just to help us like progress forward and keep this like concise. Oh yeah, perfect. Like some of the like the graffiti that's on just to add like that little bit of custom flair.
Like there's
like a bit of
markings
some
for each
markings.
group, right?
Yeah,
and,
decals, bit of car culture in there, you know.
and you see that with the Pomeranians Zaku. They have
Yeah.
the little Pomeranian.
Yeah, and then on this Tan Zaku here, the arm is like a completely different one, like you were highlighting earlier, but like some type of like looks like a piece of construction equipment. Which I that's like always my favorite thing with robots and mecha aesthetic in general is just like mixed matched parts and like modified stuff from like just like that overall like that junk punk aesthetic.
It's got
Uh,
like a machine loader arm.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the feet and the legs, you could see that it's got maintenance equipment like welded onto it in place of regular Zaku armor, which is very interesting.
And I really hope we get to see more interesting and more radical designs because I know because correct me if I'm wrong, but the premise for a lot of the shows like fights is going to be through clan bat, right?
I assume so. That's what they seem
So
to be setting up with the
if that's the
trailer.
case, because obviously like we don't see like a full on clan bat yet. But I'm hoping that they use this as an opportunity to showcase some very like crazy like I just want to see like them go all out with the designs. Yeah.
We were joking about it in the coverage for the movie that we did a month or two back with MP and Goons.
Yeah.
But it would be funny if we saw other Gundam protagonists from around this era, but in like heavily customized Zaku. Like if Amuro comes like charging in with a Zaku, or Camille and Fa are Mavs.
Yeah. That could be very fun way to have some cameos from like iconic UC characters.
Because those characters are around, it's just you don't see them because it's a completely different history. Because this is 5-6 years after the 1 year war ends and Zeon won, which is very interesting. Kentaro, here's something I wanted to ask you. So that ship that Shalia Bull is on, what ship do you think that is?
I want to say it could be the Argama.
The Argama?
Uh-huh.
Not quite. So the ship that the Zeon forces are on in this if you look at it, and they tell you like straight on, they show you this in the beginning. That
Oh.
is the white base.
Okay,
It's
Yeah.
not
okay,
it's
yeah,
not the
yeah.
Thoroughbred, it's not any other Pegasus class warship. It is the white base.
I
It's
was
See,
second guessing myself.
it's a
this is
modified
the
bridge. It's got some extra armor, but it's white base.
this
Mhm.
is the argument that I like to make for why they should have, before this first episode, showcased the beginning segment in some way, shape, or form. I keep I'm only saying this after only having seen the first episode and having seen the movie, but that beginning segment is like really fucking important. It's really fucking important.
It's also
Mm.
really well done. I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
like
it's really good too. Yeah.
just the beginning segment is up there in like probably my top 10 Gundam moments or episodes.
Yeah, I think like, because I know I keep talking about the beginning, but it's very integral to the story, and depending on how they handle it for based on the episode 2 previews, it's just very baffling to me they didn't do what G Witch did like in episode 0, because that is rife for an episode 0. I wouldn't say it's rife for an episode 1, because episode that would just mean, oh, the first episode just about Char, and then we get to see Machu in episode 2. That doesn't really, that wouldn't have really made sense. But in some way, shape, or form, besides just going to the movie, which obviously, that's how you would get people to go to that movie to get that info. They should have made the beginning segment accessible, because Kentaro got it confused for the Argama. No, I'm
Oof.
kidding, but it's
To be
okay.
fair, it is around when Zeta is set.
Mhm.
That's
It's
fair.
just
Yeah.
the only reason the Argama is built is because White Base did so well during the 1 Year War. They wanted to continue the Pegasus class.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
that's also another thing to contextualize. Anaheim Electronics isn't the main manufacturer of mobile suits and vehicles anymore. Everything is mainly Xeonic. And they
Hmm.
mentioned that in this first episode in terms of the Earth Federation is the police on side 6, which
Yeah.
was a neutral colony and still is its own independent thing. But it's
Mm.
almost like all of the Earth Federation colonists had to flee to side 6
Yeah.
during the war or during the aftermath of the 1 Year War, which is very interesting because, space was divided up in half. Half of it was Fedi controlled, half of it was Xeon controlled, and then like another 25% was completely decimated. But it's going to be interesting to see how, people migrate or how the colonies expand, because at this point in the UC timeline, Green Noah is there, and there's like rebuilding efforts for all of the sides, and that's where Camille is, Shagrin Law for Double Zeta. That's like a
Mm.
newer constructed colony, so it'll be interesting to see if they explore the universe and do that, because they haven't gotten off the colony quite yet.
And all
What do
of
you think,
this,
Don? Or Kentaro? Yes, Kentaro, go ahead.
Yeah.
all of this makes me very excited because I'm a huge Zeta and especially Double Zeta nerd. Like Zeta's like probably going to be in my top 10 favorite Gundams, and like Double Zeta's like my 4th favorite Gundam question mark.
Right on. Okay, so
Yeah. Sorry.
we talked a lot about the first 40 seconds of this.
Yeah.
So, new Xeon crew, different captain, different crew members.
Yeah.
Shalia Bull,
Yassified in his glory.
Yassified
Yeah.
Shalia Bull, God bless
Yassified
him.
Shalia. Here he
Father,
is.
Son, Shalia Bull, amen.
The Father, the Son, the Shalia Bull.
Shalia Bull, point comment.
Yeah. I
Um,
think both sub and dub voice actor for Shalia Bull were pretty good.
Mhm.
We're not getting to my favorite dub performance yet, but we will.
mhm.
It is interesting though, now that we're able to see this piece of media being presented as a series, how these characters are technically supposed to be introduced to audiences watching GQuuuuuuX for the first time outside of the film. Welcome to me just talking about the film again, but because when I was
There's a
sitting there
lot to
watching the
say
film,
with that movie. There's a
there
lot to
is
say.
there is a lot to say. But in the sense of like, I was sitting there thinking like how like what was going to be episode 1, and kind of like figuring out in my head as I was watching the film and then watching episode 1 now, like able to like connect the two. That like, yeah, the way everything's set up, it was almost like, wait, we're being reintroduced to these characters, like we're being reintroduced to Charlie Bull. It's like, okay, we just saw the beginning segment, but now it makes sense, and especially makes even more sense if the beginning is just, if we're getting just a truncated version of the beginning in episode 2.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, there must not much to say in this scene where we get a bit of like expo dump about, oh, you were Char's Mav and all that. What happened to Char and this thing? And you're trying to find the Red Gundam, which I love the Red Gundam's design. I think it's fantastic.
I think
It's so cool.
that's also an important thing that we haven't really talked about. The way that people pilot mobile suits is completely different than in UC, because in
Yes.
UC it's still very solo pilot focused with support groups.
Yeah.
But in this timeline, because of stuff that you see in the beginning, mainly the tactics that Shalia Bull helps introduce with Char, the concept of a Mav is there, and a Mav is like a spotter, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind
It's
of
the wingman.
yeah, it's like a battle buddy,
like Top Gun.
or
Yeah.
a spotter for like an army sniper, right?
It's Goose.
Yeah, talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose.
And then the
Talk to me,
Zek
Chalia.
Nova goes off. Talk to me, Goose.
You can't say that. No, we don't know. They haven't. They don't know about Zek Novas yet.
So the Zek Nova is
No.
what we call the GMs in this universe.
No, that's they're gonna see through that lie. Well, see, that's another thing.
Oops.
My contention. See, another contention for why they should have
The
shown the
beginning's
beginning before this
important.
episode. Why the beginning's important, and why
They could
they
have just
should have shown the
released it
beginning.
with this one, or just put the
Yes.
movie up.
Or we'll not put the movie up because that's like the first 2 episodes. They want to get people to watch this on Amazon Prime, but at least like do episode 0 as the beginning, because hey, that thing you just mentioned, Ferbus, is very important to the fucking story. Sorry, I get really passionate about this because it makes 0 sense to me why they're doing it this way.
Also unrelated, you guys should show me Top Gun sometime. I haven't seen that.
You've never seen Top Gun?
Mm-mm.
I'm not even gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole for now. We'll circle back. We'll circle around back to that one outside of this podcast. It's fucking.
So the standout new character in this, well, there are 2. There's Xavier, and then there is Kamuli.
Kamuli.
Mm-hmm. And I think Kagali. I think both of their voice actors do a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is Xavier. It's Xavier Olivet.
I think they pronounce his name differently in the dub, from what I recall.
Yeah, I know, because we keep talking about the dub and I keep gushing about it, but like, because I'm not like a huge dub guy. It's not because like, oh, I think dubs suck. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like weeb otaku bullshit. I just prefer the Japanese voices. And I think dubs hold their merit in terms of visual for the visually impaired, and those who may have trouble reading subtitles. But this was seriously like a really stellar dub, and we haven't even gotten to the reason why. I just let's keep going, because I can't wait to gush about someone's performance in there.
All right, so we'll jump ahead a bit, and well, I guess before the eye catch, we see the police Zaku battle the mysterious Red Gundam.
Yeah,
now the Red Gundam we see a little bit more of later.
God, I love all the detail on that. That's just a good design.
Yeah. It's got the bits, it's got its beam saber, it's got its head Vulcans,
Got
and it
the
makes the
gun,
little Gundam noise. And then Eye Catch, episode 1, Red Gundam.
Gundam. Yeah.
And then we're introduced to Machu, who gets a mysterious text message.
Let's
And
get the beginning.
She
Yeah,
gets
I agree.
She gets off she gets off the fucking train,
The train.
and then she encounters a literal terrorist.
Yep.
But
And now
not
we get
quite.
to I get to gush. I love the voice actress for Machu's dub, for the dub version of Machu. I think it's really great. It doesn't sound like a typical like dub if I'm to go that route. It's a really good and standout performance.
Machu's voice actress is
Oh yeah.
Thea Scalo. I should have practiced this before.
Put the name in chat. I'll see if I can pronounce it.
Here. So I was looking at her.
Taya Scalodi, Salodi. It's either Taya Secalodi, Sokolidi, something like that.
So I was looking at her IMDb while we were watching GQuuuuuuX.
Yeah.
And young actress hasn't really been in too much. This is like her breakout role. This is like the really, really big breakout thing that'll put her on the map for voice acting.
Was she not a reoccurring actress in Game Shakers?
She was in one episode of Game Shakers.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't even like part of the cast of the show. I've never seen. That's really interesting.
A short called The Rider. She was in a movie from last year called Depth of Field as the character Valerie.
Okay.
So
that's like her first time doing like voice acting for anime, isn't it?
I believe so, unless I'm missing something where she went under a pseudonym. And
no, she did a great job. Yeah,
it's really good.
It's seriously good.
She is like perfect for Machu.
Oh yeah. It's perfect. It's how I'd imagine Machu to sound like in English.
This is her first credited role for an anime.
Yeah, so
I'm behind the voice actor.
Well, I think now is a good time to talk about for the dub. They just got like a bunch of new people, like Ferbus and I have never heard of. It's pretty fantastic.
And like they have people who are in stuff, right? Like Kat Peranto is in this. And she's in like Fire Emblem and Yu-Gi-Oh and Neptunia and some other dubs like Higurashi Sotsu and some like random one-off characters or side characters. She's in that hockey anime that I like to joke about.
Hockey anime.
Or Nyan's voice actress. Let me Anime News Network, get this ad out of my face. Here, Don, you read it.
Okay. What am I reading?
I bad that Spanish.
Okay. Anitis. It's either Aniris or Anitis Quinones.
But it's like just shortened to Q at the end.
Okay.
Keep in mind, all of these people are on Twitter and everything.
Yeah. Like definitely give them love and all that, because they seriously did like really good. I mean, we look how much we're talking about. We're even
glazing them, and we haven't talked about the show at all.
It's a really good dub. It's a seriously good dub. I'm pleasantly surprised.
She's relatively new too, because like some of the big things that she's in, Horiyama, because she's got more roles than Machu, but Horiyama, she's in Log Horizon season 3, My Hero as Miriko, so some pretty popular stuff.
Some good stuff too. Yeah,
I like her voice for Nyan.
Bottom line, listen to the dub. Watch the dub. Watch the dub.
I mean, if you're paying for Amazon Prime and you're watching it legally on Amazon Prime, you might as well rewatch the episode.
Yeah.
the
Plus, you
dub.
get to see it twice. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
that's what I think the three of us are planning on doing, watching it subbed and dubbed.
Since we're talking about that, I do want to mention, because we're all English speakers natively. I really want to talk about, just really quickly, kudos for Amazon and Kara and Sunrise and all of these acting agencies for doing simul dub immediately.
Yeah.
Japanese,
that really took me
English,
by surprise.
German, Latin American
Oh,
Spanish, European French, Hindi, Italian, Portuguese, Thai, and
It's available in a
Turkish.
lot of languages, guys. It's
That's
insane.
11 languages.
It's pretty impressive.
And that's not to mention the official subtitles: English, Japanese, Arabic, Czech, Danish, Greek Modern.
Oh,
Right? Because Don, you speak Greek. You could watch
Yep.
GQuuuuuuX Greek.
I can watch it in Greek.
Like
I can at least read
Polish,
the subtitles in
Portuguese.
Greek.
I don't know how well the subtitles are. Sometimes Amazon fucks around. There's a case recently where the Amazon Prime version of G-Witch just kind of has Soletta say a slur, which she doesn't do in the dub.
Okay.
So I don't know the quality of them. I'm not going to comment on the quality of the subtitles. I just think that it's really nice for them to have so much inclusivity and expansion for different voice languages, because Gundam is like a universally loved thing, right? There are fans basically anywhere in the world for Gundam. Would you like to keep talking about the episode, Don?
Yeah, let's keep talking about the episode. I think we've gushed about the dubbing support long enough.
Machi jump scare.
Hello, Machu.
Hi, Machi.
Everyone say hi to Machu.
Hello, Machu.
Hi, Machu.
So now we're at this point where she's talking about wanting to feel the sea, or I guess she wants to be on Earth. Is that what I'm understanding?
It's this sensation of like you're born and raised in space and you don't know the real things that you're being like led to know.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. And I've been rereading, I'm sorry, I'm a nerd, but I've been rereading O'Neill's original publication on the O'Neill cylinder and space colonies. And that's something, kind of like the ethics and the rationale of it, right? Like, will these people be adjusted to space? Whenever we see like a new protagonist who's born and raised in space in Gundam, like Camille or Banager, they're like fucking solid at it. And then when they go to Earth, they kind of have to relearn everything, and it puts them in like, this thing of understanding. Machu, she hates space, right? She wants to be free because she feels confined within the space colony, right? She reads out how big it is, how, the G forces are created, the artificial day and night cycle. And, she kind of wants more, which is a very interesting angle for a Gundam protagonist.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. Also our second female main lead protagonist in Gundam, next to Soletta Mercury, which is something to point out. I think it's really good that we're getting after how many years of male protagonists. Listen, I'm a guy, I don't mind having my male protagonist, but this is good. This is the right thing to do. You got to keep it diverse. After 40 years of dudes fighting robots, I'm okay. I think it's time some chicks get the chance to. Yep. Which for a franchise like this that I feel like has a lot of compelling female characters and a lot of compelling women that have a lot of depth, and I know for some characters they represent some form of I believe social commentary. but I'm not going to delve into that.
Mhm.
I'm my brain is not at the capacity right now to even delve into that. It makes sense, and I think it's about time that we got, like, I'm saying this like, gee, which hasn't happened, but you know what I'm saying, like, that we are getting more female protagonists,
Mhm.
or female main leads, I should say. Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely does matter,
because that matters, right? There's a lot of young anime fans who will probably get into
especially
Gundam
especially
because of
nowadays in
Machu or
modern, like,
Neon,
fan
right?
culture for anime. It's gone beyond just like a
Mhm.
bunch of guys passing around bootleg VHSs straight out of Texas. It's now like very much broad, to now both men and women enjoy anime. So for something foundational as Gundam,
Mhm.
it's good.
Like, all right, so, uh, Machu has her little introverted moment, and she, like, goes, "Oh man, this world sucks," and then her
She's like,
phone's broken, so now she can't
fuck,
doom scroll
yeah.
on TikTok.
And then she goes on a Fooliepedia. Fooliecooley.net, learns about the Temray circuit. It's a good time, great time, good for everyone.
Yeah, so she finds the circuit, she Googles it, she goes to bootleg Wikipedia, which I think they changed this because in the beginning, they show a
Mm.
picture of Char, but they kind of cut down on this scene with this. I feel like they might have been sneaky and trimmed a few scenes because the pacing feels a lot better than I think it did in the movie, just because the movie's like these episodes structurally, but also recut
Yeah.
somewhat in different areas. Um, so white base, I don't remember what they fucking call it now. It's not called white base. They like
Or just
name it
white
something
race
really
was
stupid.
I
green.
keep on thinking they called them. I keep on. I keep. I keep on thinking they call. I keep on thinking
Can we
they.
just call it that now?
I
What
keep
if
on thinking
white
they
base
call
was
it the
green?
Phosphera or something like that. But maybe I'm just thinking of Godzilla. What?
You think of Godzilla?
He
Never.
stares at his limited edition watch and limited edition shoes.
Stares at the script for
He stares
Godzilla
at the
Iceberg 700
vast
entries.
collection of SH Monster Arts figures. Sorry, we're talking about Gundam. Anyways, green
Mhm.
white base. I love green base. Green base number one. Greek base.
Greek
Oh, now
base.
it's a party.
Greek base. Because it's called
Yes.
the Trojan horse,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Ah,
So okay, we,
ah.
we got it. We got all that. We got it. They're
So
at Greek
they're
base.
at Greek base. And then, they're like, okay, we're on a Gundam hunt, which isn't the first time we've seen a Gundam hunt. Gundam narrative. I kind of feel like there's kind of like some crossover with Gundam narrative and GQuuuuuuX in terms of them having to like get this random Gundam that's just kind of out there. It's this mysterious power they're hunting. What do you think, Kentaro?
I love Gundam hunts. I just think that's such a really cool way of like introducing the Red Gundam, or reintroducing it rather, depending if you've seen the movie or not. I just think it's a really intriguing view to see like how this Gundam differs from the Gundams of old.
Definitely. So we'll keep going through this. So, they're like, okay, if we fuck up, because now like they were alone the GQuuuuuuX. It's not even like their mobile suit. They loaned it from Zionic or something. And they're like, okay, we need to use the Omega Psycom, which that's kind of crazy. A Gundam fitted with Psycom pre-CCA. Ooh.
Yeah.
Or even, pre Double Zeta, because the Double Zeta's got Psycom stuff.
And I just saw Char's counterattack not too long ago.
Yeah, so
It is very interesting to see how they're integrating some Zeta elements, some Zeta technical elements into this, since we would be around that point just before Zeta would start,
Mhm.
correct? Because I just started watching Zeta with you guys, so I'm not like fully knowledgeable.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that GQuuuuuuX is taking this kind of Zeta approach to telling a sequel story, especially because it's Zeta's anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that.
It's really cute.
we got them talking.
So they name drop McCuve and Cassilia,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of see where they're at, and then we get Xavier in the GQuuuuuuX.
Yes.
I really like his outfit.
His design's really good. Like honestly, I know this is gonna sound stupid, but I could see him being Yasified Amuro. I'm just gonna say
Twink
that wholeheartedly.
Amuro meet buff Twink Amuro.
Which one's buff Twink Amuro? Because I feel like Amuro kind of becomes a buff Twink kind of closer to the end of Char's counterattack, or to kind of closer to Char's counterattack.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below. Buff Twink Amuro, regular Twink Amuro. Which one are you?
It's interesting that the pilot suit, it isn't like the pilot suits that we have in other Gundam series. This one is directly the type of one that Shalia Bull would use when he was using the he was in the Bra Bao, right? Or is that a different one?
Oh yeah.
Because Lala is in the Elmeth.
Yes.
And then we see the Elmeth's bits later. And it's that kind of like Saikamu suit. They have a bigger visor, and I think it's like it resonates with their brain stronger or something. I don't know. I'm not that deep into it. I don't know. So they launch
that
off
hard
the
in the paint.
rail. They go through, and then yeah, Don, take it away.
I love this frame so much. And
Oh
just how
yes, this
much
is.
people
I want to actually try and draw.
There it is.
Like yeah, I love that. I don't know. I love the gremlin energy that's just emanating from this. I don't know. I just you know, I'll use this as an opportunity. I love the fact that the battle keys are a direct reference to the Temray circuit, which is just some like fucking Zaku part that he yanked out. So it kind of makes sense that in order to activate your Saku, you need that. But I still love the fact that it looks like the Temray circuit. Fun fact: in one of the Super Robot War entries, you could put the Temray circuit onto the RX-78, and it significantly decreases the performance and makes it worse. So therefore, we have the answer of no, it would not improve the Gundam's performance.
It takes me back to that scene when Amuro messes around with the circuit, and then he's like healing from the stuff from the argument, or not an argument. He was watching his dad lose his mind, and then he looks at the circuit, and then he froze it. Now I can't take that seriously because of what you said, because it'll just make the Gundam worse.
Well, that's the whole idea, because Temray, you know, suffer from oxygen deprivation. And
also interesting to note, because we're on the Temray circuit again. This is like the 5th time we've talked about the Temray circuit somehow.
We love the Temray circuit. Best device ever.
You could actually buy it as like a USB port for your computer. So it's like,
it's a
USB
does it kill
hub.
the computer?
Significantly reduces the power of your USBs.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, that could be a fun like build to put on the channel. Just like turn a fucking scrapped hard disk drive and make it look like the Temray circuit and have it fit into a computer, and then I don't know, it has like a fucking zip bomb in it. It just has a zip bomb of like Gundam fan art, like a whole terabyte, like a Yoda byte. A Yoda byte's worth of Gundam fan art in the fucking Temray circuit hard drive. Help me out here. I'm running out of things to talk about the Temray circuit. Ferbus, let's keep talking about the show.
This is the 2nd time the Temray circuit has been chucked.
There it is. That's enough about. Oh, I love this where she's standing on top of what I think is like some type of post or like a birdhouse. This shot here, I thought it was really nice. There, I will say, it's nice to see that the animation quality, at least for this first episode, is exactly, because it has to be because it's from the movie, but exactly the same level of quality as it was in the movie, which I really hope is consistent throughout the show. Because this is like the animation's really nice in here. I really like the animation.
Machi is like a cat, and it's really funny. Although I have to wonder what's the significance of Nyan's name.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
It probably means something different, but I just think of that name. The first thing I think of is a cat, just because of the word Nyan being thrown around so much.
Agreed.
Welcome to Kentaro's naming theories.
Welcome to Name Theory.
A purple light.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so after we get some Yuri bait, some very strong Yuri bait, we go to the mining resource area of the colony, just outside Side 6. And then the
Yes.
first proper Gundam battle of the series begins.
And what a lovely battle it is. Oh my.
Oh yes. Yes. This really showcases the dynamic speed of the Red Gundam. I could gush about the Red Gundam all day. I think it's a very nice design. Welcome to I like things that look cool. And that's the entire show.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how, a lot of the weaponry in GQuuuuuuX so far, it's like, oh, they have all these weapons, they're like stacked, and then just immediately all of their shit gets destroyed.
Oh
In
yeah.
the first battle we see of the GQuuuuuuX, just one of its beam weapons just gone.
Oh yeah. Does it lose its gun? I just realized that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the gun gets shot out, and that's why Machu uses the heat axe or the heat hawk. Mm-hmm. So they meet up with the Clantag.
The junk punks,
Yeah,
the Pomeranians.
The Pomeranians.
I love that. I love that term. I think it describes everything about Clanbat and this team perfectly. Like the junk punks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they're so
That's
junky.
something in the dub. Yeah,
They're so junky that they have a Haro.
no, they don't look.
Who was gutted.
Oh yeah, he's just
and
a speaker.
And he's a fucking walking Bluetooth speaker.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love Beanie Haro so much. Genuinely one of my favorite Haro designs.
We get some more gremlin energy for Machu. And then
That's such a great shot. I just noticed something. She has a Nya. What's her name again?
Nyan.
Nyan. She has like a weird mark under her eye.
Yeah, she's got a bruised face and a black eye.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's why she wears the sunglasses. Also because
I thought she was trying to hide from the police.
Well, yeah, that's a part of it. But also, normally you cover up a black eye with glasses, right?
I guess so. Oh,
look at that. We are how far into the recording are we? We're 48 minutes and we've only gotten through 12 minutes of the episode.
That's just how much we could talk about the Temray circuit.
God bless it. We should put that in the
God
tags.
bless the
Temray Circuit podcast.
Temray Circuit, the Temray Circuit podcast. Yes, I just got the Temray Circuit. Look, guys, it's the fabled Temray Circuit.
Dude, if we ever started a band, we could be called Temray and the Circuits.
Temray and his fabulous circuits.
Yeah, so...
and yeah, in this case, the battle key is just like a hard disk drive that you fucking plug in. I also love how when you're plugging in the thing, the operating system boot up in the Zaku just looks like American Megatrend's motherboard startup screens when you first boot something up or you're trying to get to the BIOS.
And
I love that.
It's Xeonic, of course.
Yes, it has to be.
Of course.
I just noticed the design's asymmetrical.
Yeah,
I like that arm.
You could see it's got the regular Zaku arm, and then it's got modified or the armor was taken off of it, right?
I definitely think the armor's been taken off of it because it looks like it lines up. Everything lines up the same. I could see that being the bicep cover. It just looks like it was stripped down or something. Makes me wonder how the fuck did they afford something like this? It's gotta cost a pretty penny.
Well, it's probably junked. That's the best part.
The junk punk machine. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Get out of here, you
I'm running.
junk punk.
No, junk punk
The
freedom.
next
What? What the fuck? What?
junk punk freedom? Is that
Yeah,
seriously what
no.
we're going with?
Yeah, freedom for all junk punks, dude. Fight the power.
I'm thinking the freedom from
Oh,
Seed.
like a junk punk version of the freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh god.
Dude, I would pay money for a kit like that. You kidding me?
Yeah, kit bashed like fucked up freedom.
Yes.
Okay, so then the GQuuuuuuX and the Red Gundam, they burst into Side 6. And the
Yes.
pilot of the Red Gundam, who we don't know yet.
Yeah.
He's not using, or she or they, we don't know.
Nice
They-
cover
they're-
up, fucking man in
Fuck
black.
you.
Wow, so profound. fucking the art of the philosophical art of war right
Yeah,
here.
okay, so they're battling and they're fighting, and the Elmeth bit gets like real close to just like fucking crisping them. Air fryer
I'm
over
surprised
here.
it didn't. Yeah, that's crazy though.
even-
And then they get destroyed.
Yeah, even though Xavier doesn't use the Omega Psychomu, he still holds
Yeah.
his own against the Federation turned Zeon's like greatest mobile suit.
Yeah,
Aside from the Big Zam.
and-
God bless the Big Zam.
Father,
son, holy
those
Zam.
those will really just wanted Big Zam. Oh, we can't talk about that.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
is
in
Big
the
Zam in this
fucking-
timeline? Who knows?
But I like to think that maybe Xavier was a little too reliant on the Omega Psychomu system, because you could see he's like, I can control this better if I use the psychic fucking cheat codes.
Well, he was thinking
and stuff.
maybe, yeah. I mean, he's already like obviously an ace pilot, or I guess not an ace yet. He definitely has the showcasings to be an ace pilot, because he could hold zone already. Because like, you know,
Yeah,
fighting against a bit like this already pretty hard. Plus, you know, he goes toe to toe with the Gundam itself, which, you know, a very deadly thing. He even destroys 2 of the Elmeth bits. He almost takes down the Red Gundam too. Technically, he does kind of like give it to a standstill with this first encounter. The Red Gundam a little more heroic than the GQuuuuuuX, and then
Yeah.
fucking feds show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
They hate junk punks. They're racist towards junk punks.
Yeah.
They
hashtag junk punk freedom, everyone.
freedom. Yeah.
Mm.
And then you can see here how they just completely disregard the refugee area.
Yeah.
Like
they tear
them
it
taking
up.
down the power
They don't
lines.
care
They dump
about
their equipment on the
protesters.
trucks
Yeah.
to search for the fugitives. For the pilots, they just tear off the roofs and they say it doesn't matter. It was built illegally by refugees. Doesn't matter if it's their home or not.
Mhm.
Which is kind of goes to the point that, like, okay, yeah, even if Xeon won, it wasn't going to be like this, like freaking space noid utopia. It was still going to be shit like the
Mhm.
Federation was, according to them.
Because it's not going to be the utopia new type society, which the zombies kind of perverted from the ideas of Zeon Zum Daikun.
Yeah,
Because there's no
for
one
sure.
leading it to that. And also, you know, new types have to emerge. We've seen new types emerge a few different ways, through combat and
Yeah.
battle and experience like Amuro, or through
Or you could just be old.
like space
Play
autism like
Dragon Ball.
Machu.
Space autism.
Dude, people have been calling Camille a space autist for fucking decades.
Mhm.
This is very true. This is very true.
Yeah, so
When did Charlie become a new type? Was he always, or is it just when he became old? He's like, oh shit, I'm new type.
the idea is that he was like venturing so far off into deep space that it kind of awoke within him that like
Yeah.
potent ability to adapt within humans. Because
Yeah.
that's the crux of new type theory, that it's like humans will evolve into something new the further and more reliant we are on space. That's why new types awaken in colonies more than they do on Earth. Because like
Right.
even Amuro was born on Earth, but he spent, you know, a good chunk of his life in space, and he's still like one of the strong new types.
Yeah. I get that. Okay. Right. I forgot about that detail. Oh, is that the Jupiters? Did you get the
The
case?
Jupiter
Charlie, you got a
returnee.
case. Yeah, Charlie, you got a case of the Jupiters.
So Machi decides, you know, fuck this shit. Gets into
I'm gonna fight
Zaku.
them. I
Let's
like the
go.
detail where the eyes, when they're not engaged in combat mode, they're blue.
Mhm.
And then now we get to see the operating system boot up.
Yeah. So Kentaro, what are you thinking so far? What were your thoughts of the episode so far? Up to this point.
Very fun.
I love that. I love
Very
that screen.
compelling. I like
That-
when it comes to Gundam and other stuff, like I just love it when like mess around with like alter a timeline or alternate universe stories and just really take stuff to the next level.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Agreed. I think because like Kentaro said earlier, they've done Alt UC before, but I think I mean, okay, you could throw Gundam Thunderbolt into there, but I think this is the most drastic alternate retelling. But then again,
we've
the
gotten
Gundam Thunderbolt's like
animated,
gone
yeah.
fucking insane.
Because
Okay,
Thunderbolt anime is kind of more in line with UC. The manga gets fucking weird. You shouldn't really be spoiling Thunderbolt manga in the GQuuuuuuX.
We just flash the Gundam Thunderbolt spoiler. We'll
Yeah,
like
just
have
cut
like
it
an
out.
audio clip for
I'll
that.
just cut it out.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa, Don! I can't believe you just said that everyone like kisses in Gundam.
But anyways, my point being, like, this is definitely the most drastic. I think this is like, I think also the most creative, like visually, in terms of just like being so drastic in terms of the change of the designs too.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you hire a Pokemon character designer.
Is he a Pokemon
Yeah,
character designer?
the character
Mhm.
designer for the series.
Well, because I know he did Fully Cooley.
Mhm. No, he's
I don't.
he's done Pokemon.
Oh wow, I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's why
He
they
didn't
all
design low kicks by any chance.
fuck you.
I love low kicks. Anyways, you were saying.
Yeah, okay. So she gets into Zaku. She's like, okay, I'm gonna fight, and absolutely gets her ass handed to her, just thrown down the fucking junk shaft. Xavier's like, all right, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna repair my Gundam. I'm gonna get the
Goddamn
fuck out
junk
of
punk
here.
fucks.
And then
Yeah.
he's immediately ambushed and almost arrested because, you know, the fucking MPs show up. And then,
Yeah.
oh, there's Machia. What you gonna do? She pulls off
What
an
you gonna
insane fucking
do?
maneuver, gets into the T-Quark,
Yeah.
activates the Omega Psycom.
Through the use of the Haro, which is interesting because even in the movie that's not explained, and I'm really interested in wondering, like, how? What's the significance of that Haro that's owned by the Pomeranians?
Mhm.
It's very interesting because Xavier wasn't able to unlock it until Machu jumped in with the Haro,
I think
and
it's
then was
more
able to
so
respond to the
that
activation key.
I think it's just reacting to her. I think she's just
Yeah,
a
but
really
remember the
strong new type.
no, but literally when she hops in, she's like, I need to activate this thing, and then the Haro goes unlock, and then it like its lights flash like it's connecting to something via Bluetooth, and then all of a sudden like it's activating its Psychomu frame.
It's the power
I
of
think there's
Yuri.
something more at play. No, I think there's something more at play here with that Haro and that activation key and the new type stuff.
People are like, where's Amuro? Where's Amuro? He's right there. Amuro Genki, Amuro Genki.
Oh my god. That's funny.
Yeah, so not much we could really say about the battles except for they're cool.
Yeah,
I don't
because the real cool stuff doesn't happen till later on in the movie, but that hasn't happened in the show yet.
I don't think I'm going to stand by the statement. I don't think I like the usage of plasma during this battle. It doesn't really add anything. Like it
Really?
doesn't sync up to the movements. It doesn't sync up to the motions. Even like the needle draw, like the build up, and then the relieve, that big like hype point. It's just kind of like the GQuuuuuuX standing there. It's not even like doing anything. I feel
He's
like
just standing there, menacing.
they probably could have shifted things around to have that song start a little later.
I don't know. I like the use of it. I just like the song. So you know,
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah. So
Oh wait, I think my favorite shot's coming up.
Yeah,
The one that I like
so-
keep gushing about every time.
Machi gets thrown into space and almost immediately has a new type flash.
And the Kira Kira, which interesting, they also called the Kira Kira in the dub and not the Sparkle Sparkle.
Mhm. And that's like a
And then here
true
comes-
new type connection. That's a psychic connection,
Yeah.
kind of like what we see with Amuro
Yeah.
and Lala.
Here it comes my favorite shot. I love it. Pause it.
And then the
No!
and then the
No,
red
you didn't pause
Gundam,
my favorite frame.
the red
Yes,
Gundam's
I
just
love
kind
that.
of chilling here, and then it senses
I love
the
how
GQuuuuuuX.
eerie it is. I love how eerie it looks with the circular eyes. I don't know what it is about that, but that's just really stood out to me.
Mhm.
I love it.
See,
I really love that look.
I think that the GQuuuuuuX and the red Gundam are going to have kind of like this a dyad component. If you remember Star Wars sequels, try and set that up with Rey and Kylo Ren, where they're like a forced dyad,
yeah,
and that's why
they're really
Palpatine wants them,
powerful.
right? And then it's like,
Yeah,
I think that's probably
you
what
do.
they're doing with the red Gundam and the GQuuuuuuX.
Yeah, they're a couple of bros.
Yeah, a couple of bros up to no good.
Just a couple of bros, dude. Yeah, you know.
So the scene won't be long enough. And I wish someone could make an edit of this. It probably could be done, but this moment with Machu encountering the Red Gundam in the GQuuuuuuX, someone could edit that with what is that song called from the third 0079 movie, Beginnings or something.
Either Beginnings or Megarai.
Got it.
Like the Lala encounter song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well,
The song with
thank
the
you for a
flute.
very easy edit idea. Yeah, so they have like a little connection, and then suddenly Machu's like, I don't know how, but I know how to fight now.
I know how to do
And then
this shit. And
she
then
proceeds to
yeah,
kick fucking ass.
yeah,
Mm.
And then
it's just really good.
yeah, the episode just kind of ends with Nya fleeing into the night, Machu in the GQuuuuuuX, and Shia Ball is like, okay, all right, some shit is a play. And he sees the red Gundam run by, and everyone's like, okay, that is the Gundam that we've been hunting for.
It's just there.
And then
It's gonna crash
and
into
then
the
we get
window.
the credits. We get the ending theme.
Yeah, that's pretty much the first episode. It's good. You know, like it serves as a good introduction. Oh, I like that crab robot, but it serves as a good introduction. Make a PlayStation, call it the Crust Station. I've seen that thing circulate around. But yeah, I don't know. I just I think because Ferbus I already seen the movie, so we already liked the first episode, or at least I did. I know Ferbus was like
It's growing
had some
on
differing
me.
opinions.
It's growing on me. I just think it was a little lame shoved all together, because you go through all of the beginning and then you hard cut to this, right?
Yeah, like old fashioned styled like war drama Gundam shit, and then you got like teeny bopper girls in an apartment.
Yeah. A lot of people are already like digging into the little visuals of this ending. Like Machu and Ya both paint their toenails the same colors. They have the same ankle bracelets. If you could
It's definitely
see,
Yuri.
Machu's wearing kind of the tie pattern that Nya's outfit has. Like that
Yeah,
little X that her ribbon makes.
Ty has. Yeah,
And they spin around, they eat the za. Yeah,
They
there's
play
an
Beatles.
ukulele apology.
They played the Beatles rock band. Yeah.
They
Oh,
play the Beatles rock. If you look, the Haru has little heart glasses.
oh yeah. The
Oh.
crustacean has a little has shades,
hmm
shutter shades. I love that.
Yeah, and that's basically it. Do we want to talk
There
about
it is.
the episode two
Sure.
Yes.
showcase thing?
Yes.
So
How
episode
the
2
hell?
hits you with a little bit of a 1-2 punch of ha ha ha, fuck you. How do we get to this point? Well, White
Yeah.
Gundam.
Yeah, so now I guess we learned about the Red Gundam's origins,
Mhm.
which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know.
So
Like, I don't think it's bad because it'll still be a good piece of media because it's just the beginning segment. But like, it should have been in episode 0. I'm sorry. I'm
it's
sorry.
also done kind of the same way that Victory Gundam is, because Victory Gundam, I haven't seen it. I've seen like 5 minutes of the first episode of Victory, but
Oh,
I was talking to
shit,
MP,
okay.
and MP's like, yeah, this is basically what they do in Victory to start the show.
Okay.
So in this preview,
Okay.
this very short preview, we see a certain certain Red Zaku, engaging in combat, with one of those missile guided tanks, because they are on side 7.
Yep.
And instead of
And there's the
Amuro
White
running to
Gundam.
the White Gundam, it's Char.
It's Char, because that's the whole premise of the
Lieutenant
show.
Commander
Literally, the
Char
whole reason why I have
Aznavour.
this fucking
We
timeline.
see him meet Shia LaBeouf very quickly. We get that infamous little grin, and then you see the Gundam rising. And then the episode ends with that classic flash, and then episode 2's title is The White Gundam.
Red, white, which one is it? That they also say that.
Yeah.
Where did
Now my question is,
the White Gundam? Ooh.
my question is how the hell, or how long was the beginning segment in that case? Because was it also 20 minutes?
It feels a lot longer than just 20 minutes.
Well, because that's the question I keep asking. Because like, if this episode is going to be the whole segment, is it going to be cut or shortened down, or was that segment, or did we just think it was long and the segment was actually just 20 minutes long? Before it got to the beginning.
I think it was longer and it's just going to get trimmed down for this episode.
Well, we'll find out next week. Which I'll say, I'm at least glad in some way, shape, or form the beginning is part of the series, because it's just too integral of information, and it's a really good piece of media to just leave out, I think.
So we've been yapping for a while. Kentaro, this is your first experience with GQuuuuuuX. What do you think?
Yes.
I'm really excited for GQuuuuuuX. I'm not too familiar with like the major writer of this anime, but I'm really familiar to like see what they do with the show. I know Hideki Anno, one of my favorite anime and live action creators, is also working on this as a co-writer, and that's really cool, even though I wish people would remember to credit the other people working on the show, because this is not Anno's show. But aside from that, like I don't know, it's like I've been a Gundam fan for a while, and like usually I'm not really too hard to please as long as you tell like a really interesting story with a bunch of fun characters, great mecha, great action, great drama. I feel like this is going to be like another Gundam that really like turns the concept of Gundam on its head and can be enjoyable for both older fans and new fans. There's just so much to really like gush about from this first episode, and the audience won't notice, but my voice was getting all screaming and like making like sound.
Oh, you're cutting out.
The scenes. Oh no. Hold up. Discord, please work.
Okay, you're better.
I was having such a fun time watching this with you guys, and like noticing details, getting all excited at like how the battles were framed, and how Machu gotten to get into the Gundam and I just episode it really offers a lot, and even though I really wish I'll get a chance to, I just thought this was a really strong. Discord, please stop cutting off.
You're just talking too softly, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how everyone else felt, right? Because it's like
Mm.
it's a very good hook. I've seen some people on Twitter call it like the best first episode of Gundam. I don't think it is personally,
Mhm.
because I don't know, but it is, you know, a good entry point. Although I do
Oh, yeah.
think the beginning segment hooked me way more on this universe than the
Oh,
first
yeah.
episode. But you know, that's later. They'll showcase that stuff when they showcase that stuff. I think it's a solid entry point, and it's going to be interesting to see the direction that they go with the show, because we don't really have like a premise outside of clan battle and the Gundam hunt.
Agreed. Yeah, I will agree with Ferbus here in saying that, like, I thought it was a good first episode. I don't know if it's like, oh, the greatest first episode ever, because much like Ferbus, the beginning segment is what really hooked me into the show, because you know, now it's like we get to see the aftermath of what Char Winning has done. But in that regard, I still think it's good. It's a very good first episode, and I think it's doing its job of hooking in a lot of people. And I'm very much happy with the amount of dubs that it has. And I think the English dub is great. And that's really all I have to say, because, you know, I've said what I've already wanted to say about what I thought about this as a whole in our coverage about the movie, and here just throughout today's session. So yeah, you know, can't complain.
I'm very satisfied.
Same here.
And all right, I think that's basically all we've got. Our tanks are running on empty.
Yeah,
For ecstatic viewers,
all
I
5 of them.
I said to Dawn, we should watch GQuuuuuX and then do a Gundam Boys thing for it. And you know, we'll
Weekly.
only talk for like, you know, 25-30 minutes. We're at an hour and 15 basically now.
There's a lot to be said, truth be told.
Hmm.
You know, there's a lot. There's just a lot going on in the show in a good way. I mean, so yeah, we'll try. I do want to try and keep this weekly. Of course, those first 3 weeks is going to be a little bit difficult because Ferbus and I have seen the movie, so it's like kind of hard to be like, oh, well, we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But
once we
you know,
pass that and go into episode 4, which they've been teasing those contents, like you've seen the movie, now look at what is going to happen in the next like mini arc of the show, and it's something I won't
yeah,
talk
exactly,
about yet. But you know, lots of reimagined mobile suits, lots of new mobile suits, new characters, new action. Yeah, it'll be an interesting watch. I'm a lot more
for sure.
hopeful for it now that I've let it process and seen, you know, the pacing that they're going with the show, compared to the movie. Oh, and that's how we're gonna end it. It's gonna like hard.
Yeah,
It's going to hard cut to.
Dawn screaming. Yeah. No, it should hard cut after I scream. Like it just ends.